Hi everyone, this is Julianne Victoria of Through the Peacock's Eyes. Welcome to my channel. So this is my next vlog discussion video, and it's basically on time management because I get a lot of questions from people in my personal life, from clients, from people online, like how do I manage being a full-time mommy to a now 1.5-year-old with working and putting stuff out online and self-care and my own spiritual practice. So I'm going to backtrack a bit to when the baby was born about 1.5 years ago. I had a very difficult pregnancy, as some of you know. It was a traumatic labor, ended in an emergency C-section, and then I had, compensation injuries on top of it. So I was going through a lot of physical and emotional healing, as well as then taking care of my baby. And of course, she went through the birth trauma too. So for a few months, that was my only focus. And that took every ounce of energy that I had and energy that I thought I didn't have. But then a few months after that, I think 3 or 4 months after she was born, I decided to, start posting the weeklies on YouTube. And I decided that to come back at that time because I needed to do something creative to help balance out all the healing focus. And it actually helped me kind of distract me from the physical pain I was in and the emotional trauma I was dealing with. So I just did a little bit, and at about the same time I opened up for client readings as well, on a very limited basis. And again, I needed something to bring in some balance, just a little bit. And as I healed, as my energy came back, as I got stronger, as I was able to do more, basically, I started doing a little bit more and more. Now, during the first 6 months to a year, maybe 6 months to 10 months after the baby was born, my motto, or my mantra, was to do what I can when I can. And I just went by that. That took any pressure off of oh, I should do the dishes instead of just sitting here holding my baby. Of course, that was my priority. Most of my time does go to her still, because I'm a full-time mommy. Of course, there's my husband to help out, but we don't have any other family to help out or who live around or who help out when they visit, really. So it's really, that's my focus. But it has shifted, and I realized I'd no longer say to myself, do what I can when I can, because by doing that, I think I set myself up to manage things. So let's talk about spiritual practice. So how do I have time for my spiritual practice? I do things with my baby. She sees me do my morning prayers. She's either with me or she's playing in the room next to me. We do yoga together, right? But she actually does little downward dogs now, so she's a part of everything I do. She's she's with me when I do these things. She's with me when I do self-care. She's in her crib next to the bathroom when I shower and take care of myself physically. She's a part of everything I do. And so for me, that's easy to manage in. Now, I am someone who likes to have a lot of alone time. And of course, I get kind of no alone time. So to satisfy that, I will often, most days, get up between 4 and 5 a.m. so I can have that quiet time alone for myself. Whether I'm just, enjoying a cup of tea and writing through my dream journal or my other journals, or sometimes at that time that's when I respond to client emails, or I check comments and do those types of things, kind of like businessy things. I often will do that then too after I have my tea and fill in my dream journal if I had a dream I wanted to fill in, or my other journals. So I get some personal quiet time by getting up early, and I'm really good with that. I actually like getting up early in the morning. I love that quiet time before dawn. It's the quietest, and it's also the darkest, and I just love that time of day. So that's where I also get, as I mentioned, some work done. I respond to emails, I respond to comments if necessary. If it's a big email, I might just read it and then think about it so I can get back to it later. But I do sort of businessy management thing. If I need to send off invoices, I do a lot of that really early in the morning when I have that quiet time and I can get things done. And I organize my day then if I need to organize, or again, I journal, that sort of personal spiritual work. Rare occasion I might read then. But also sometimes then, I just want to watch a YouTube video or two, because I do like the community out there and I try to interact. I'm not able to watch a whole lot. Sometimes I just listen to things while I'm cooking dinner, things like that. And honestly, sometimes it can take a whole day to watch a 20-minute video, but just because, got a lot going on. But I do try to interact and engage in the community as well. So I do enjoy that. So that's a personal thing that I like to do. But then when it comes to like my writing and my creative work, because for those who follow along with me, I've created, some decks. I have another one coming out soon. Stay tuned. I'll probably launch it next week. And, I have my books and my other, I have multiple writing projects and creative projects. Those I can often do with my baby. Like, she loves to read. So we do some reading together. And even though that's personal time, often what I'm reading is related to what I'm working on. So it's also research for me as well. But like, if I'm drawing out, one of the decks I'm working on, we'll do art time together. She has her crayons, or they're not actually crayons, but they're like natural crayons, and we have our paints. And so we do it together. We work on it together. And sometimes she's busy playing with her things, or she's reading her books, and I'll work on some writing then. And then of course there's nap time. So nap time, baby nap time is priority work time for me. Client work time as well. So when I do client email readings, I work on those during baby nap time. So I have to structure my work to make it most efficient with, being with my baby full time all day, every weekday, and half of the time on the weekends. So I do written email readings usually during baby naps, because I have quiet focus time. I can still get up and check on her. I often multitask, and I can eat lunch while I'm working on a client reading because I'm not on camera. It's not kind of weird, but I can snack while I'm focused on the reading. So there is multitasking there. I don't always do that, but if I need to, time management, I have that option during written readings. I can, get up and go to the bathroom and check on the baby. So those I usually do then. And if I don't have any client email readings to do at that time, I will do more work things like, again, respond to emails, sending off invoices, other, businessy, officey work that needs to get done. Or if I don't have any of that, I work on my writing projects, creative projects, or sometimes I'll read. But I can often read with baby because she loves to read, and we'll actually have our reading time every day. Most days I can usually get at least a half hour of reading in, which again is both personal. I enjoy it, I love it, and it's research for all that I do. And basically I am my work, so there's not really much of a separation there. And then more like, how do I manage client work? Managing client work. So I have my baby nap times are when I do the email readings. So those I usually can get done quicker than videos, and of course scheduling live sessions. And many of you know I've been really busy, so I've actually been I haven't taken any new clients in a while. I'll have the website up and running again in May. I actually have revamped the website. I've been working on that during baby naps as well, because it was time for a change. But so for client, FaceTime and Skype sessions, those of course are scheduled. Those are either scheduled in the evening after dinner when my husband's home to take care of the baby. I have a 1 hour time slot there that I can fill in. It's not every day because we also need to have some family time, or I get a little extra alone time in the evening. But it's usually, a few evenings on the weekdays and then weekends. And I have about a third to half the time on the weekends to either schedule in one-on-one sessions, Skype, FaceTime with clients, or to do video recordings. And sometimes I, like when I'm running my special, I work nonstop all day, at least one of the days on the weekends and half the other. Because again, we also need family time. We have chores to do. There's things to take care of the home. We have 3 dogs. They need to be walked. And so we need to juggle and manage it. But somehow I'm able to, surprisingly, able to manage all of that. And it's about finding balance. And making priorities. For those of you, especially working moms out there, self-employed working moms, because if you're self-employed, you're kind of always working, even if you're not, with a client and you're not doing this. Like there's always work going on in your head and you're like, oh, I need to organize this. Okay, so my camera shut off, but as I was saying, for working moms out there, I totally understand. And it's really just making your priority list. What is your priority? What takes most of your time? And where can you fit things in? So of course my baby is my priority. I'm with her all day, every day. And where can I squeeze in some work or some personal time and get chores done, take care of the house and home, take care of the dogs. You really kind of have to lay it all out, and how do I fit it in? And then, you also probably know I do distance Reiki and shamanic healing. And those sessions I schedule in usually early in the morning. So if I have 1 or 2 of those in a week, I don't have them every week. Those I will do usually early in the morning, either before baby gets up or after she's had her breakfast. Because that's when I feel I work best doing them. And yeah, I can focus. I can really... Yeah, I feel I work best doing those at those times. So those have their own time slots. So when it comes to managing work and motherhood, or, if you are busy juggling jobs or work and school, and how do you fit this in? And then some, an hour or 2 of socializing on the weekend, or, trying to fit it all in. Just know your priorities and know where you can fit things in. It's not easy. I feel like I'm going nonstop every day, all day long. And then of course, squeezing in a video here and there for YouTube, or writing a blog post, or, all the other stuff. Like, where do you squeeze it in? Like YouTube videos, as you probably have noticed, if you follow along, I can often get the weeklies and the new moon and full moon videos done when I'm with baby. Like, she's busy playing, and I actually ask her, I treat her with respect. I was like, can mommy record a video for 10-15 minutes? And she's usually okay with it. So sometimes you hear in the background, or you see her head pop up somewhere. Those I can do with her, because they're short, they're quick. Vlog videos like this, I usually pop in like before I start my client readings, or in between, or let's say someone rescheduled on me, or, last minute cancellation or something, or a window of time opened up, and that's usually when I do them. Or like, my dog talk walks, I'll do a vlog discussion while I'm walking the dog. So multitasking. So multitask where you can, but don't overdo it. And speaking of blog posts, it's remind me that a couple weeks ago, I wrote a blog post about a dream I had. So it's a dream journal blog post, but it was about time management, and how I was in the dream, I was rushing to get things done. And basically the message was like, just stop and slow down. If you rush too much, you make mistakes, things don't turn out well, you got to redo things, and it actually slows things down. So I'll link that blog post below if you're interested in checking that out. But I just wanted to pop on. I made a few bullet points here. Finding balance, time management. Yeah, that's basically it. how to manage and squeeze it all in. But again, it's like your priorities. My baby's my number 1 priority. My second priority is client work, basically. And I know the time slots that I have for that, when I can get things in, and just work with that, work with the flow. And because of that, and just coming back and people realizing I'm back and working more, I am booking out a few weeks. And again, right now I'm shut down, but I'll have my website or the purchasing pages back up in May. But it's really, okay, those are the priorities. Where can I fit those in? And chores, running a few errands. Of course, I can run errands with baby now. It's much easier. I'm feeling physically better. When I was in a lot of pain, I just didn't feel secure enough to go out because I didn't want my back to spasm and drop the baby and all this and that. So, you know, it's like as I'm healing, and not everyone is dealing with that. But if you're dealing with like an ailment, a physical injury, and you got to work and you got life, you know, you don't even have to be a parent. It's a lot to manage and figure out what can I do physically? What can I do with the time I have? When can I get things done? You really have to lay it all out. And you can chart it out, you know, if you're the type of person who does like Excel spreadsheets, write it out, schedule it on your calendar. You know, I do have my appointment book where I put in the things that are set times that need to be done. And often I'll make little lists of to-do lists. And honestly, to-do lists, if I can get half the things done in a day that I list out, it's a good day. So it's really, yeah, figuring out your priorities and the time slots that you have for those priorities in the order that they come, and not stressing so much if you don't get your whole checklist done. You know, congratulating yourself on the things you do get done. You know, some days I'm like, good job, you got all that done, that's amazing. And some days, honestly, I don't get you know, besides being with my baby, who's my priority, right? So I'm always with her. She's always, you know, she's always what I'm doing. But if I get nothing else done in a day until the end of the day when I can finally wash some dishes, that's just how the day went, you know? And then the next day, usually for some reason, I'm able to get a ton of stuff done. So it really just depends. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Again, prioritize, know what time slots are best to get certain things done. And that's what really helped me, especially like, yeah, nap times, I can really get these things done. Or an extra hour or two early in the morning before anyone else is up, I can get a whole lot of stuff done. Or, you know, I have half hour after dinner in the evening, after, you know, family dinner and a little family time, I can get stuff done before I'm too tired. I would do a little more in the evening, but I just get too tired and then I'm not productive at all. And the weekends, you know, it's like, okay, what do we need to get done as a family this weekend? Do we have somewhere to go, something to do that's planned? Okay, how can I schedule in my work? Because I do most of my work on the weekends. And yeah, not putting too much pressure on it. And the dream I had, again, I'll link the blog post below, was a good reminder. It was a very good reminder. It was a very interesting dream. So that was just my little vlog discussion ramble. I don't know if it made sense at all on managing time, motherhood, work, spiritual practice, personal time. Again, my personal stuff I can do with baby, most of it. So I realized, you know, it's not so hard to get in because it's teaching her, you know, spiritual practice. It's showing her, you know, who I am, what our life is like. So I'm not concerned about that. Of course, there's certain yoga poses I don't do in front of her. I don't like try to do headstand and stuff in front of her because she'll copy me, right? So you need to be a little bit aware of that. But yeah, so that is my little ramble discussion on time management. Okay, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, liking, sharing, subscribing, and I'll see you back here soon.